This week, more pollution in Beijing.
Less pollution in Africa.
And does ghosts still exist?
This is the front page. Welcome to the front page, show that brings you the top content of the week from the social news website, reddit.com. I'm Tyler Slayton.
And I'm Neil Figuracion.
Back from
New York City!
Where they make the bad salsa.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of a salsa being made in New York.
That's not even, the real problem I have with that is, it's for pace, which is gross. It's like vegetables floating in ketchup. It's not a good salsa to begin with.
That doesn't make it sound good.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this one's made in San Antone.
And also, you can make your own salsa for dirt cheap.
Well, that too. But some people want to open a jar.
But I did have an incredible trip to New York.
Yes.
Saw a bunch of Broadway shows. I saw Allegiance, which is heartbeatingly good. School of Rock, which
Allegiance. Wait, is that the George Takei one?
George Takei wrote a musical about his, not his life, but about the life of some Japanese characters in
It's based on
internment
his life.
camp. It's based on his life, or inspired by his life.
We talked about it briefly last week. Yes.
And then the School of Rock musical, which was so much fun. I tried to get into the Hamilton lottery twice and lost. However,
real quick, I had one question. Is School of Rock, is it all original songs, or they do...
They use some of the music from the movie, but most of it is original new music.
But they're not playing, actual Led Zeppelin songs or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, I think they use some references to Smoke on the Water.
Sure.
But I forget exactly which references they're making.
Okay, yeah.
It's Andrew Lloyd Webber doing musical rock, which kind of brings him back to his roots, I think.
Okay.
The rock operas that he did back in the 70s or 60s.
Wait, the rock's in it? Now I have to see it. Go ahead.
But me not getting into Hamilton. Here's what happened. I missed my flight on Sunday morning, back home.
All right.
And thus had a whole afternoon until I could get back to the plane, which would get me home. So I came back into the city and got in the Hamilton line. Stopped in and made sure my sister knew where I was.
You might as well, yeah.
Got into the Hamilton line and hoped for tickets, but didn't get them.
All right.
Whatever. I wasn't expecting to. But what that meant was I had perfect timing to get to just one block away from that theater, the Brooks at the Brooks Atkinson Theater. There's a show called Spring Awakening, which is a revival of a show that won Best Musical 10 years ago. But
okay.
I didn't win that lottery either, but they offer you a discount to see the show. And I'm going to tell you that production, Deaf West production of Spring Awakening, just absolutely was the most beautiful thing I've seen on stage in I don't know how long.
You were telling me about it a little bit. This sounds very cool. So it is a
musical. It was originally a musical based on a hundreds of years old play.
Okay.
About some teenagers in Germany who are just exploring sexuality.
Right.
This production is made by Deaf West Theater out of Los Angeles, and so what they have is a group of actors, some hearing and some deaf,
right,
making a musical targeted at an audience of everyone.
And we should say Marlee Matlin's in it.
Marlee Matlin's in it.
Is
Cameron
the
Manheim.
best person ever.
There's some powerful talent in this show. Most of the players in the show are actually first timers to Broadway.
Really?
But honestly, just knocks my socks off. It was
awesome.
Just tears running down my face, and not just that. I mean, to me, the experience after the show was over, and I was blown away by the time the show was over, but after the show, going to the stage door and seeing the reactions on the faces of the deaf audience members who were there, the smiles on their faces, because no one makes a musical for that audience.
Oh yeah.
For no one makes a musical expecting deaf people to come.
When you first pitched it to me, I was like, God, I don't understand.
I will post a video in the comments of our show. So if you're curious about what this is, how does it work, you'll at least have a little clip that you can go to. And please just dig into the hole that is Spring Awakening. It's only playing until January 24th. So if you have the
No-
power to get to New York,
No, like travel show? No, nothing.
no, it
very
traveled
so-
from Los Angeles to New York, and they knew that it would end on January 24th.
Oh wow, so
So
very limited.
You have just that run. I believe I can't say for sure if there's going to be video of it, but check out the clip because it just knocks me out.
Yeah.
And I feel like they took a show that was already beautiful and made it even more resonant and more relevant.
The one thing I like about it, so is being deaf a part of the show? Like
Yeah.
It's incorporated into the story?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
they didn't change any of the text, at
Alright.
least any of the English text. They have.
But there are deaf characters in it? And...
There are characters who are now deaf, but they don't say that they're deaf. Those weren't part of the
That's why I like,
language.
kind of like how Hamilton, like, is a hip-hop musical, but not about hip-hop. It's just about something else.
Right.
It's like the gimmick doesn't affect the story.
It
which I
doesn't
like.
affect. It doesn't affect it at all.
And I shouldn't call it a gimmick, but the premise does not affect the
Right. I
story.
mean, this is the premise of this production.
Right on.
That there are players that are deaf, but everyone's hitting their cues. It's such a precision show. They use their focus so I'm thinking as a director, but they use their focus so precisely that exactly, or at least I know exactly where to look.
Nice.
What's important that's going on. All of the I can't say enough about
Right
how
on.
awesome this
All
show
right,
was.
well, we could do a whole...
So watch the link.
Whole show,
Let us know
yes.
what you think of that. 'Cause I want to talk about it.
But what I want to talk about is
Oh.
this little show that we do.
We're doing
And
a show?
We do a show.
Okay.
It's called The Front Page. Anyway, I don't know. We'll just get into the first story. You're pantomiming now for our deaf audience?
No, I
All right, anyway.
that was just I like to. All right, go.
Yes. This is first story. I submitted to subreddit Tumblr, which I don't think we've ever done before, by Mike Pants. It's
Oh.
Mike Pants, not my pants.
Oh.
It's just called "Can't Put My Finger on It." So it says here. This is a post from Tumblr that says, "In Japan, radiation creates monsters (parentheses Godzilla), and in America, radiation creates superheroes. Shockingly, it's almost like Japan and America have very different narratives surrounding nuclear fallout." And if we all think very hard, maybe someone could think of why that might be.
Well, I think that's fairly obvious.
Yes. I think that might be a hint of sarcasm in this post.
Yeah. I mean, having just seen Allegiance, where World War II and the end of that war.
I assume that takes a very different perspective on...
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I knew that in the back of my mind, because Godzilla is just a reaction to the bomb.
Godzilla is a straight up reaction
Right.
to the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic.
The only
bombs.
inconsistency I find in this theory is that because all the radiation superheroes were like 60s, which were probably thought of in the 50s when we were
Well, because I think we were in the midst of the Red Scare.
No, I think all that Spider-Man, the Hulk, it was all sort of well, yeah, I guess people were afraid of the bomb too. Mm-hmm. But
But it was sort of the hopeful.
right, yeah, it was
hopeful
we're in a
version
new
of that.
age now, and it's gonna bring us,
Because they spent the decade before that being afraid of everything.
Well, yeah.
And then I think by 1963, we're tired of being afraid of everything.
Yeah.
And then
but it's not
what
like
happened
we-
to Kennedy? But okay.
Right, yeah. And the comics code and all that. I'm trying to think of...
How was the 50s?
I wanted to... are we less afraid or more afraid now?
I think we are specifically afraid.
I think we're afraid of the
We're
wrong
afraid
things.
afraid in a guided way.
Yes.
I mean,
that's it.
if you know anything about Robert Anton Wilson and the Fnords, Fnords, if you don't see
You
them,
just
they
went.
can't eat you.
All right.
Basically, it's the theory that news is... the shorthand of this is that news is designed to make people feel crappy.
Oh, yeah. No, that's what... Yeah, that's how we have the 24-hour news cycle now. It's just if we keep them afraid, they'll keep watching.
And that's...
It's genius. It's evil genius, but it's genius.
And that's what the Fnords are.
Okay. All right. That all sounds good. I don't know. I just thought this was really interesting. It's just two pop culture things that I was very aware of that I did not realize had a very strong connection. All right. Moving on. We're going to one of our standbys. Today I learned. Subreddit Today I Learned. Today you're about to learn. Submitted by user Dip My Balls in It.
That sounds like a sports
No,
reference.
just let it sit. Just let it sit. Okay, we can move on.
Lickamaid?
No, you don't know Dip My Balls in it? That was
No, I know that reference.
Yeah,
There's a guy
State.
in a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Kids in the Hall.
Ken Marino? No, it was Ken
Oh,
Marino.
it was a State. Yeah, okay.
I've never seen the State, so.
What? Well, I don't think you can get it on anything, so.
There's a DVD set.
Oh, are there? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Today I learned there is a mountain in Australia called Mount Disappointment. It was named such because the explorers who first reached its summit found the view to be subpar and wanted it to reflect their feelings in the name chosen for the mountain.
I got all the way up here, and all they got is
It's
a brick
so,
wall.
So it says in this description, after making the... Oh, I didn't switch the story. If you're at home, drink, because Tyler forgot to switch the thing. I know. After making the arduous climb to the summit, British explorers Hamilton Hume and William Hovell hoped to view the distant port of Port Phillip Bay. Unfortunately, the mountain's many trees prevented this, resulting in immense disappointment. Consequently, they recorded their feelings in the name that they chose for the mountain. Which I'm like, was someone hyping this mountain? Was...
Gonna get up there.
It said somewhere else in the article that Aboriginal people lived. Were they just oh, you got to go up that mountain. The view is crazy. Maybe it was a prank. It was what if we sent these two white guys up the mountain and then they got really disappointed, and this is their revenge. And they're like, Mount Disappointment.
Those guys need a prank.
Also, it's not even the mountain's fault. There's trees. Oh no, there's trees on this mountain, and that's
Maybe
what
the
makes
trees
it.
are good looking. I mean, good trees. Awesome, beautiful trees.
That's sort of a British industrious attitude. So it's oh, those trees are blocking. If those trees weren't there, this would be a lot better.
We need to clear them.
Can't see Port Phillip Bay.
Because nature versus progress.
Yeah, so...
I mean, it sounds like a place I'd take a date. If I ever took dates anywhere.
Sounds like that's what the date would call it. Boom!
Yeah, that's how I would call it.
Set me up. And what a crappy attitude these two have. Where it's just it's who's that terrible film critic that used to do puns with all the, is Gene Shalit? That the guy who Gene Shalit used to do
Oh, the guy with the crazy hair and the mustache.
Yeah, The Incredibles, more like the Not So Incredibles. That's what he do. Just anytime he was
that's
disappointed
not even dad
by a
joke
movie. Yeah.
level. That's
He would just spin it in a way that was just oh, you got him, Gene. I think he's dead. So, so joke's on Gene. No. He's not even the best critic named Gene.
Mount Disappointment.
Yeah.
Siskel, I think you're referring to.
That is who I'm referring to. Chicago's on.
Also late.
He is. He's not showing up on time anywhere anymore. All right, moving on. Subreddit funny. Submitted by the Banana Stand.
There's always money in it.
We got some good references in these first few. I don't know what Mike Pence is a reference to, but I like it also.
Maybe it's related to Joe's shirt.
I love this story. I guess they're trying to be festive, but ... So this is someone who decided to let it snow on their windows.
Let it snow.
But either through poor planning or brilliant planning, the front windows of our house just say...
The tits now.
Tits now! Which, I'll be honest, is a message I get behind way more than Let It Snow. Because I've never liked that song. Where it's let it snow. No, you're clearly from a place where it doesn't snow. I don't want it to snow.
Make it rain?
I don't think that's a thing.
No?
No, making it rain is a thing. I don't think it's related to...
Well, I mean, if you go to the strip club...
Although you could do a terrible remix of that song. Make it winter themes.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make it snow up in the club.
That'd be rad.
That just came out of my mouth, so...
Anyway. Oh, wait. That sounds like a totally different kind of making it snow.
Anyway. It's a very charged show. This is a little bit of a hostile environment. You came back from New York and you got angry. It's clearly New York has rubbed off on you.
I was told that I do things that no New Yorker would do.
Like what?
Introduce myself to a group of people.
Oh, God, no.
Hi, I'm Neil.
I don't do that.
What's your name?
I don't do that here. That sounds awful.
No, that sounds to me, it's the skill of just being kind and welcoming.
Well, you be a citizen of the world. I will be over here in my corner judging everyone else.
That's why we balance each other out. We're like the yin and yang of this show.
This is true. So
Tits now.
on purpose or no?
Well, it could be French too.
I don't think teats is French.
Well, le.
Yeah, what? So they just we'll go la,
Teats now.
and then we'll just go with English for the rest
It's
of it.
Franglish. It's Franglais.
I wonder if it started, do you think it started by accident? And they were like, what if we did this? Oh, no, we can't do that. Oh, but maybe we should.
I'm happy to just see it.
And yes, this is true.
Anytime you see Le Tits Now.
You couldn't do that anywhere else because it's like 4 windows and then 3 windows. It fits perfectly.
I wonder what the sidewalk is like. You know, would you only see Let It Snow based on where the sidewalk is?
How offended you are by this totally depends on which direction you're walking on the sidewalk next to.
Absolutely.
All right, but I thought that was great and very, very festive. Oh, and we have another festive story. Submitted to the subreddit Interesting as Fuck by username is cat. All right. Truck driver.
Wait, the username is cat?
Username is cat.
All right.
Truck driver completely nails holiday lighting. Check this guy out.
Hot. Oh.
Like,
I'm reminded of many summers in Disneyland watching the Electric Light Parade.
oh, and all the lit up cement
the
trucks they have in
turns?
Disneyland. Oh yeah, this guy went all out. I would say to the point where
Like the cement thing mixer still works? That's crazy balls.
yeah, I don't know. I wonder if it is. It's got to be functional if he's driving.
No, like it's actually turning. I can see the lights turning.
Yeah, but is there cement in there? Like, can he show up to a job with that?
I hope so. That would be super festive cement.
I guess, but I think
That'd be like party cement.
it'd be party cement.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
it's
to
probably filled with glitter.
Oh, that sounds wonderful and horrible.
That's how you pave over like unicorn forests.
I don't know. You got to be
At the top of Mount Disappointment.
You gotta have some.
There's probably unicorns.
We could
in
fix Mount Disappointment. That's what they were telling them. Like,
Yeah.
there's unicorns and shit up there. Go. There's a glitter cement truck.
I'd go.
You gotta
With
have
a
some,
date.
You gotta have some serious enemies for someone to drop off a cement truck full of glitter at your house. That would be that's the ultimate punishment right there.
Yes.
It's like forget firebombing. Like if I had some enemies, I'd just back up a cement truck full of glitter. And be like, deal with that for the rest of your life. You'll never get rid of it.
It's getting in my underwear, in my nose.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. You could do. It's like episode 2. Do you remember the
Episode 2 of...
in Star Wars when he's talking about I hate sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
You mean the prequels?
Yeah, you probably don't recognize
exist.
my Hayden Christensen impression because it was too dynamic and interesting.
I don't believe that those movies exist, so I don't remember.
By the way, next week.
Huh?
Next week,
Next week?
there's a new Star Wars film.
That's like a Disney movie, right?
It is a Disney movie.
Okay.
Someone mentioned that. You're not going to hear the Fox.
Oh, that's different, yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to hear that.
Yeah.
Which is going to be weird for like 5 seconds, and then I'm going to forget about it. But
I mean, that's the least important part of the movies.
I don't know. I went to a Star Wars concert. They did like all the Star Wars stuff live, and they started it off with the Fox fanfare, and I was like, "It's a dream I never knew I had to hear that song live."
Wow.
So exciting. But yeah, I guess I did immediately forget about that too.
Yeah, I'll probably see that movie at some point.
Oh, we're gonna have to
Deign
be
to
dragged
see
to the theater.
No, I'll find a place that's not totally sold out 2 weeks later or something.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to hear me talk about it.
Oh.
Yep. All right. Next story submitted to the subreddit Unexpected by Pope 13. It was Roman numerals, and it took me a second to. I legit almost said Pope XIII.
Popeshy.
Jesus. We'll just get it. All
Pop XC.
right. No, I got it. Yeah. It's just called Your Husband is a Dick. No, but remember, unexpected. So this is a conversation on some sort of social media platform, and one person says, "Your husband seems like a dick. Kill him." Also, does ghosts still exist? Someone responded with, He is a dick, and killing him is on my list. But he's attractive, so I'm going to get one more kid out of him. I'm not so sure on the ghost front. I guess we'll find out after I kill him. Kill my husband and put him in his gravestone in my backyard. And then someone is good enough to comment, you need to make it more obvious that this is about The Sims.
Oh, thank you.
Because, out of context, this is one... It's like, oh, this is just two unintelligent people talking about murder and the possible afterlife.
Yeah, I guess I just assumed that it was kind of a meta conversation and not a literal conversation about killing an actual husband.
I thought someone was just being really sarcastic, and it was just like,
yeah,
you shouldn't be saying this online, even if it's not true.
Yeah.
But it turns out it's not even about reality. It's about...
Is this like on a Sims board?
It must not be, because like this person was like, I'm going to throw some context in here, so it's not super weird.
And does ghosts still exist?
Because
I think that needs to be the name of everybody's favorite.
I'm gonna name the title of my autobiography is gonna be
Does
Ghosts Still Exist? The Tyler Slayton story.
That's the way. That's the way.
And just me on the cover like this, and like there's gonna be ghosts over my shoulder.
It's gonna be my ghost.
Yes, exactly. We find out.
I'm the dick, but I'm not your husband. But
you could do an insanity plea with that. It's like, I killed him because I wanted to see if ghosts were still real.
Does ghosts still exist?
Does ghosts still exist, Your Honor? Padded cell. Rest of your life. All right. We can move on.
Yeah.
Oh, this is weird. I did not plan this. This is submitted to subreddit World News by Ghostly Dog. So, does Ghostly Dog still exist?
Oh.
Beijing has issued its first ever red alert over smog, and the city is going to completely shut down.
What?
Yes. Beijing has issued its first ever red alert over the city's smog, with the Chinese capital going into shutdown in an attempt to protect the people from the deadly air. It is the first time ever that the highest possible state of caution has been declared in the city, which is more than 21 million residents. The warning means that schools will have to close down, and construction and other industry in the capital will be limited. Smog levels are actually lower than they have been in recent weeks, but authorities expect an extreme amount of pollution over the coming days and have imposed the order to ensure safety during that time.
How big is Beijing in comparison to the major American cities?
21 million? Like, I don't think there's... Maybe New York has 21 million people in it, but it's big.
Yeah.
And for that to just shut down... And, like, it's not like shut down, like, for a holiday. It's shut down... Like, you can't leave your house.
Like you are stuck in the house and you have to pipe in oxygen? Or you have to get out of town?
I think... No. They don't have to leave, but I think Beijing takes a very, like, duck and cover attitude towards their pollution, where it's just like, just stay in your house. You'll be fine. I mean, the outside is poison, but you'll be fine inside your house. Don't worry about it.
I remember that British movie. What was it called? It was an animated
Monty
movie.
Python and the Meaning of Life.
No, that's not the one.
Oh, okay.
It was an animated movie about like what to do after the bomb, and the bomb goes off, and the people are basically just told to put themselves inside of a bag with the name, with like their information.
Oh, when you say movie, you don't mean like
It was an animated feature.
Like it played in theaters?
I don't know, but I saw it on video.
Oh. All right, that sounds...
I forgot what it was called.
Well, that's nice and terrifying.
Tell us what it is. Yes, it was horrifying. It was that same period that we were watching, if you remember the movie Threads, or the other movies that were all about what would happen if the bomb dropped in the 80s.
Okay. More of this story. It says that...
you millennials don't remember that.
No. The order will last from Tuesday morning local time until midday on Thursday, when the weather is expected to change and blow away the smog. Yay! Hooray for wind!
Can't they just get a bunch of HEPA filters?
Well, listen to this. In some parts of Beijing, the air is packed with poisonous particles that mean that people will become ill simply by being outside. Air pollution monitors showed areas of Beijing had more than 256 micrograms per cubic meter of the poisonous particles. The World Health Organization says that anything over 25 micrograms is considered unsafe.
Will you repeat those numbers again?
256 is what they currently have, and 25 is what is bad.
So that's like saying one can of Coke will make you feel not so good.
Yeah.
But you're drinking...
You're drinking 10 cans of Coke.
Right.
but it's not coke. It's poisonous gas, and it's surrounding your home.
Right.
Uh,
Let's just. I hate to say this, but have a bag ready and put your name on that card. That's awful.
yeah,
Wait, it makes me feel good about the adjustments we made in the 1970s in America, which were to change our laws about
we got rid
how
of
cars
disco.
work,
Oh, okay.
like emissions,
Oh, I got
emissions,
you.
and all that stuff.
I guess it's not even cars there. It's coal. They burn coal, like in the city, like limits. Like
What is this? 1860s?
it's very, it's very Victorian
Charles
area.
Dickens?
Yeah. You can make a stage play about that. Like it takes place in Beijing. But
Please, sir.
start writing that. All right, but if we move on to the next story, good news on the environmental front.
Okay.
This was submitted to also to World News. Was it the last one, World News? Yes, it was. By Jake Wins. And Jake does win because he submitted this story. 10 African countries vow to recreate 100 million hectares. I think it's
Hectares.
it is a hectare. I don't know why I doubted myself. Hectares of lost jungle, which is larger than the state of Texas. World Bank and Germany announces funding. The AFR 100 initiative is a pledge by African nations to restore 100 million hectares, or about 386,000 square miles, of forest by 2030, according to the organization. During the Global Landscapes Forum, which happened recently in France, at the UN climate talks, the World Bank and German governments and their partners set aside more than $100 billion in development funding and $540 million in private funding for the African reforestation.
Wow.
Right. So all across the continent of Africa, they're going to be rebuilding jungles and forests to like a place the size of...
That's a big state.
Yeah, it's almost the biggest state.
Second biggest.
It's the second biggest state.
Texas doesn't want to think that, but they are the second biggest.
I did actually have to change this because the original title of the story claimed that it was larger than Europe, and it wasn't. And in Reddit being
larger than many European countries, maybe.
Yes, it's about twice the size of France.
Yeah.
But Reddit, instead of burying it, we're kind of like, no, there's a good story. Let's just correct him. And they decided it's about twice the size
now,
of France.
here in terraforming parts of Africa.
Terraforming? You can live in Africa. It's not Mars, but go on.
I mean, we may need to terraform Beijing.
Well, yeah.
Will they make a mountain with a bunch of trees on it?
And call it, you know what? Underrated mountain.
Yeah.
It does say that more than a dozen African countries, including Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, Burundi, and Rwanda, have pledged millions of acres to the project. So there's already there's money and space
set aside.
Yeah.
Wow.
West African nations along the Sahara Desert have also pledged to plant more trees to stop the ever-encroaching desert from destroying more arable land. Which I didn't even know. Did you know that the desert is like sneaking in, like getting bigger and just being like, yes, I'm going to consume this.
I will have
it's
all
horrible.
of the
And here's probably the best part. This is a quote, restoring our landscapes brings prosperity, security, and opportunity, said Vincent Buruta, Rwanda's Minister of Natural Resources. With forest landscapes restorations, we've seen agricultural yields arise and farms in our rural communities diversify their livelihoods and improve their well-being. Forest landscape restoration is not an environmental strategy, it is an economic and social development strategy as well. So it's like environment good, people good, money good, like all good things.
Cool.
So yeah, I support this
Yeah,
AFR
and maybe it'll
100.
balance out the air situation in other places.
Just like all that smoke that's being blown off of Beijing.
It will just
Africa will be like, I got it.
Yeah, I mean that's what trees do, right? They clean the air.
No, that's exactly what they do. Is they annoyingly do this.
Air.
Yeah. All right. We can go on to something that is decidedly unimportant. For contrast, some subreddit Cringe Pics, which is another one I don't think we've ever done.
That sounds troubling.
Submitted by Fondle My Nose. Yeah, you stick to fondling your nose. You're not fondling Anyone else's
Thank
nose.
you.
Not that kind of program. I guess he was trying to show off? Question mark. Valiant effort, anyways. So this is a Facebook post. Oh, did I not switch the story that whole time?
No, you didn't.
I've never done that before. All right, well, finish.
I didn't catch you.
Finish your drink. I'm the worst at switching stories. All right, this is a Facebook post with a couple of people in it that has been kept anonymous.
Those people have had their faces melted.
Yes. Well, guy on the right says, "Haha, we look like a couple, don't we?" And he tags the girl on the left. The girl on the left comments, "A couple," in quotes, "of great friends," smiley face. Oh, let's have a moment of silence.
Mount disappointment.
Mount disappointment indeed. Let's pour some out for our. Oh my God! I just noticed this. His comment, 1 like. Her comment, 3 likes. Oh no! Oh, dude. Listen, man, we'll be your friend.
I'm glad that you're anonymous.
Yeah, this would be harsh if they actually put it up.
And that hair doesn't match mine, so...
Yeah, that's definitely not me either, so...
It's not me.
Yeah. Which we shouldn't be glad about, because this guy seems like a good egg.
You know, everyone has just a perspective. I'm not going to... I just relate to the whole...
I hope he learned a lesson, is kind of the point. I hope he goes, okay, yeah, gotta not do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
I'm going to pour this imaginary beer on my face.
Why would you pour it on yourself?
Because I don't know how to drink
That's
it.
not how pouring out works.
Huh?
You don't pour it on yourself, you pour it on the ground. It's wasteful either way, but...
I know.
Oh, poor guy. All right, we'll stop.
You know, it's not that people don't have the right to say, you know, they're not interested. I just feel so...
She could have said nothing.
No, because there's sort of like the silence means acceptance.
Oh,
Right.
Her silence speaks volume. All
Right. And like, not like.
You know what? Didn't have to put couple in quotes. Let's go that. I would say that. If that's the editing I'm doing, the social editing, didn't have to put couple in quotes. Those are some condescending quotation marks. Mm-hmm. All right, but we can move on. We can get off this guy because I'm sure he's had enough pain in his life.
Yeah.
A town near me just added this for Facebook and Craigslist sales.
What is this called?
I don't know what the town is, but it says...
No, the story on the Reddit.
Oh, like where's it from? Sorry, I should have mentioned that. I've never done that before either. I'm off my game today. Submitted subreddit pics by TRX Rider, which I think means T-Rex Rider. Which makes you think of Dino Riders. Remember that show? Not right. Forget it. Internet purchase exchange location. This area was under video surveillance. Which... I appreciate the safety of it all. But also... Alright, I'll self-incriminate. I've definitely bought and stolen things off of Craigslist before. My PlayStation 3 was 100% stolen.
Aw.
What are you gonna do? They're offering up for like $100 off. I was like, oh, this generous person who feels like losing $100 on this sale. No, that shit was stolen. And, you know...
It would never occur to me to go to Craigslist for...
I met them in a McDonald's parking lot, and we exchanged...
It didn't fall off the back of a truck, as the gangsters say.
What I'm saying was, lots of stolen goods are exchanged on... Man, you're all about the pantomime today. Lots of stolen goods are exchanged on Craigslist, and this area being monitored by the police... I feel like now this is the place you don't go to exchange stuff on Craigslist or Facebook. Also, I've never heard of anyone like selling something to a stranger or someone you couldn't trust on Facebook. Usually it's just like...
Not on Facebook, it's usually people you know, because you don't really get in touch with people you don't know.
Right, yeah, it's usually just like, I got a couch, who wants a couch? And someone's like, I would like a couch, please. And then, like, you figure it out from there.
I've gotten things from people on Facebook.
I've never heard of anyone buying anything from a stranger on Facebook. You can't even search
Maybe
on
you're
Facebook.
connected by friends. So officially they're strangers.
Yeah, but you could always just go like...
They're a friend of
like,
a friend.
Hey, Brian, is Neil going to try and murder me if I try and buy his couch? Like, no, he seems okay. Or, you know what, he might, so you should meet in the designated Facebook purchase exchange area. So then it'll at least be on video when you're murdered.
Maybe it's one of those stores that sells your eBay things. Do they still exist?
Oh, I'm sure. People are lazy. Come on, you don't have like some... It's like, well, I gotta take this to the trash or take it somewhere and fill out a form and make $3 off of it.
I mean, or I could sell it myself.
I don't know. There's some stuff that's not worth it. You gotta know what your time's worth, man. All right. Last story of the evening. I'm gonna smack that pretend drink out of your hand. I swear to God. This is a weird one. So, submitted to the subreddit WTF by Moongoat. Last night, some kind of animal ripped my car apart as it sat in the driveway. Look at this. So there's a series of photos, and this is some sort of Toyota SUV, but this dude's car got destroyed.
What?
So, it says, I walked outside to find this. I was in the back of the house for about 2 hours after I parked, and never heard the commotion to cause this damage. Which, that's scary. So this happened, like, fairly silently. Which is crazy. We called the police and filed a claim. He had never seen anything like it either. My girlfriend and I believe that it was some kind of dog, possibly rabid, and that it was trying to get our cat under my car. Luckily, the cat survived. If you have any idea on what dog or what else might be capable of this, that lives in North Florida, I'd love to hear it. So, and, like, there's more. Like, apparently it cut, whatever did it, cut its mouth or something on it, and... But this dude's car is wrecked in a pretty terrifying way.
Yeah. That's like, I mean, just a small section of the car, but horror movie damage.
Right. Well, and also, like, that's going to be expensive because it is several parts of the car are now really messed up.
Not usable.
And my immediate thought was, and I didn't read the comments on this one, so I'm not sure I'm sure someone has suggested it. It says North Florida. There's alligators in North Florida, yes? There's got to be an alligator, right?
Crocodiles? No, it's alligators down there?
It's alligators, yeah. Because I can't imagine a dog would do this unless, like, he might have been rabid, like, out of his... But alligators do weird crap like that where they attack, like...
Yeah.
Like, power lines and weird stuff like that. Like, dogs don't usually tend to just... Unless it's like your sofa. They don't just chew the crap out of something.
They chew things up, dogs, but not like that.
A dog would not think like, oh, if I can eat the car and then I'll get the cat. But I think an alligator would, because they're basically just...
Okay.
They have tiny little lizard brains.
Is there a history of alligators just chomping on people's heavy machinery?
Alligator attacks truck.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Only Toyotas, weirdly. They don't like Toyotas. I don't know. What?
Oh, because they're Japanese and they're related to Godzilla.
And
that brings us back to the first story of the day.
That was like animal racist. You were somehow racist towards animals. I don't know how you did that.
Nuclear animals.
All right.
Hey, man, I saw Allegiance.
Are you like me? This is a total side note. Are you terrified of getting the word nuclear wrong?
No, I like getting the word nuclear wrong.
It freaks me out.
Nuclear.
No, nuclear. Nuclear is the correct one.
I know, but...
Ever since George Bush, I'm like, oh, now if I say it wrong, people are going to think I'm the biggest idiot ever.
We're going to say things wrong.
Well, yeah, especially... if we've proven anything, yes, we're going to say things wrong. Right here on the front page. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to... We're on Twitter. Check us out on Twitter. We're
what are we?
At Watch Front Page.
At Watch Front Page.
Yes. Go send us a message on Twitter. Follow us. The whole thing. We put up stuff about the show. Mm-hmm. Silly jokes and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ty Slayton.
I'm Neil Figuracion.
We will see you next time on the front page.